today, I'd like to introduce my niece, Lexi. She has an extremely impressive background. She's currently employed as a first-year client partnership associate at a New York marketing agency. She's also the founder of Campus Collective. So I'd love to hear about Campus Collective and how it's doing now.
Yeah, so Campus Collective just launched this past January, actually, at Boston University. So it is a student-to-student service marketplace app across 4 main categories. So that's beauty, fitness, academics, and lifestyle. So really what it is giving students a centralized platform to offer and book services from one another right on campus. So finding affordable services like getting your nails done, getting your hair done, finding an affordable fitness class or tutoring also provides the same opportunity for students who want to have a side hustle in college to earn money and earn income on their own schedules without having to work a demanding part-time job, like super shift-based, 8-hour shifts at a restaurant. They can really make the same amount of money doing something that they're passionate about and that they can offer to other students depending on how much time they want to put in.
It's amazing. I definitely applaud your, innovative launching of your career. So this is one of the benefits of social media.
Yeah.
We believe that certain politicians were elected because of social media, and people are earning a lot of money. We're also relaying information such as medical information. Yeah. So there can be a lot of positive as well as negative effects of social media.
Absolutely. Honestly, getting this whole platform started was primarily on social media. That was how I was able to even reach any of the college students. I built a campus ambassador team at Boston University who I also found and contacted through social media. So having that platform has really helped me in just developing this. It makes everything so much more accessible, and we're looking to expand to campuses across the nation in the fall, all through discovering people's mutual friends and what schools they go to on, Instagram or things like that.
Right. So it's great because it's beneficial. You can relay information more easily.
Yeah.
You can interact with people.
Mm-hmm.
I think some of the problems is people are living a lot vicariously through other people's lives, as well as they don't even know how to interact with people as a human being face to face any longer because they're all looking at the screens of their phones.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, just moving through everyday daily life in New York City, everyone is just pretty much head down on their phone.
Right.
And me and my roommate, actually, we went to it's called Bath House. It's like this sauna place, but basically it's like all these thermal pools, it's this like fitness recovery thing. Basically you go, but there's no phones allowed. And it's like you're all in like one massive like area. Right. But it was so funny just because there was so many people like around our age, of all ages really. And they're like sparking up these conversations. And I'm like, we never have these experiences of talking to strangers because like now we're in an area where we're so bored we have nothing else to do because we don't have our phones. So it's crazy to think of if that was how like life just was.
Right. But it's difficult because the world makes us dependent on our phones.
Absolutely.
Like my daughter, she's in high school. I can't take away her phone. All of her information regarding school is through her phone, assignments, tests, results.
Your whole social life, if you're getting invited to anything, like it's all through that.
Yeah. So your first significant experience was around 2014.
Yes.
In middle school.
So I would say that my first experience really was going into middle school. In 2015, I started middle school. And that was what I would say probably the peak of what felt like to me the negative social media experience, because me and all my friends had just gotten to middle school. And I want to say that this was also the peak time of Facetune. I don't know if you've heard of that before. No. It was very, very popular at that time. Basically, I think it was the first app where you were able to completely edit and modify your pictures. Like it made it so easy to change your face and change your body in any way that you wanted. So going into middle school, we then were following all of these girls in high school on Instagram, and there was this rise of Instagram models. So it was, and all of these pictures, really, we later found out, which was kind of in the know anyway, that everybody was pretty actively using Facetune. I remember when I'd taken some pictures with an older girl, she was like, don't do anything with that. Send it to me first so I can edit it first, and then we can put it somewhere. Right. So it was very much just sort of like this known thing that people only really talked about like with their friends. But people make reaction videos now, like looking back at their Facetune pictures and reacting to them and how ridiculous they were. But living through that, you know, it wasn't viewed that way at the time. It was something that you really were comparing yourselves to. And now you felt like you had to edit your pictures. And everybody then was thinking, you know, how can I make myself look better here? And we can't put this anywhere until it looks the best that it possibly can look. Because even now that, you know, you're going into middle school and all of these guys are sitting around the cafeteria table and they're looking at these girls on Instagram, and like, that's who you feel like you're competing with, right? Which is just, was such a drastic shift for me from elementary school, when you're not even thinking about what you even look like, really.
Right. And the problem is these are sort of like false, unattainable figures.
Completely.
That are sort of like fabricated by the phone and the techniques.
Absolutely. Like it's not even real. What you're seeing on your phone, it's just like, it's not even real.
Yeah. It's crazy. So around that time in 2014, suicide actually became the second leading cause of death in adolescents. So you can't always correlate that, but it certainly had a significant contribution to mental health. In fact, they've done studies that greater than 2 hours a day on social media increases your rate of suicidal thoughts, self-harm, and depression.
That doesn't even come as a surprise to me,
right? Because
not only with the, you know, appearance comparisons at that point in time, but that really was also the first time that you were seeing what everybody was doing on the weekends, and you were seeing and finding out if you weren't invited, and like if this group of people was hanging out. And now you kind of, it brings on this like other aspect of like lonely and like what's this self-doubt as well.
Yeah. And the sad thing is these people who are at these parties and whatever, they're not having such a great time because all they're doing is taking pictures of themselves and posting it.
Yeah. And it's, you just think, of like the worst case scenario when you're on the other end of that. Like, this is probably the best thing ever. They're having so much fun without me. And you have no idea what the reality, like, you know, it's not something you would be thinking about at all if you hadn't seen that.
Yeah. But it's hard because it's artificial and, you know, made up and contrived.
Oh, yeah. You're only seeing every single person's best moment. It's all like so like posed and everything. You know, you have no idea what putting any weight on what you're seeing online for being real or anything like that.
It's funny because my children like taught me how to use the filters.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I can look so much better.
Oh my God, it's so fun.
And it can actually be addictive.
Yeah.
And that's the problem is if you can make yourself look so much better, whether it's real or not.
Oh yeah. You go from, I'm going to get rid of this one pimple to I'm going to make my nose smaller. I'm going to make my eyes bigger. Let's just smooth my whole face while we're at it. Like it's really just a rabbit hole that you can just go down.
It's like plastic surgery.
Yeah, it is.
Always
it is.
Better, you know? So anything you're learning about now in like your work, your employment in marketing?
I would say I mostly work directly on the affiliate side in marketing, but there is an influencer team also at the agency that I work at. So it's very interesting to just hear how heavily people are leaning into influencer marketing, which has been such a trend now for, I would say, the past few years.
Right.
So it really is just leveraging those people who have built an audience and are posting actively. So much now of, companies' business, like money and spend, is going into social media platforms as well, which is so interesting.
It's crazy. But so at the same time, not only is recognition and fame really inviting, it's also monetary.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I have my own platform on TikTok, and I have about 20,000 followers, but I have all these brands still like reaching out and sending me clothes or, offering these paid partnerships opportunities, which is, I think, like, it's great. It opens up a whole world where people with, who are really leaning into this are able to do this full time. It's crazy that now it's becoming a way to just make money as well.
I remember a long time ago, when social media became first big among my peers.
Yeah.
And I was a young mother, and there was a woman posting, "My child just got hurt on the sports field. Look at us. We're now in the ambulance. We're going to the hospital."
Yeah.
And I was like, shouldn't your focus be on worrying about your child, not about getting a couple of likes and viewers?
I know. It's crazy. It's so easy to pull out your phone. And
right.
I remember even before TikTok, I would say there was it was YouTube that was so big, and everybody was watching those, YouTube videos where there was family vlog channels and people are vlogging their whole family. And like, it's just crazy to have that kind of insight now that you feel like you have into people's lives. Yet, it is all very like fabricated, and everything is being recorded and posed. So you feel like you're seeing behind the curtain of people's lives, but obviously there's a time that they turn the camera off as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And, it can get very dark when they turn off those cameras.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're so used to having the light on you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But so we've talked about fame and then money. Have you actually made money from any of these pictures? So you got clothes.
Yes. And then I also recently got bathing suits. I've gotten like makeup and skincare. I've gotten $200 for one video, which is actually on the very, very low end of what like people with followings get. Like, people will make thousands and thousands of dollars for one video.
Wow.
So it's really crazy, but I love it. I love posting and making content and things like that and working with brands, but it is also so aligned with my marketing job that it's very easy for me to kind of shift between like viewing this as a more creative avenue of work as well.
Right. And I actually read, and I'd love to post this headline, that recently spring breakers were given as much as $20,000 a post to show shots of themselves in bikinis.
It's crazy.
So it can be really lucrative. It's actually a new career.
Yeah.
Following people. So not only is that fame addictive, but it's a way of life. It's employment.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like, people who are viewing, these large like creators or influencers, you do feel like you have a sense of this relationship with them. So when they recommend a product to you or something, you really take it as if you're getting a referral from a friend, like somebody told you that you trust to try this. So for brands and companies, it's like you're getting direct to consumer marketing with one video. So many people will turn then and be like, oh my God, my favorite person who I watch all the time just is loving this bathing suit. Like, I want it. The same way that I would react if, my best friend said that, like, you have to get this. And I would be like, okay, I'm getting it.
It was actually funny because I bought a pair of sunglasses recently that was worn by one of the Hadid sisters.
Yeah.
I was like, if it looks good enough on her.
Yeah.
And it was interesting, like talking about, reward and satisfaction is you and your mother recently recommended some sort of like cover up or whatever. And I got it and it really looked great.
Yeah.
And then I read that the Kardashians were using it. So you sort of get this like positive feedback that, oh, well, this is, if it's working with the best and the best.
Oh, totally. And then if you almost feel closer to them, you're like, oh, we all use the same product.
We can look like them too.
Yeah.
Make as much money as them. But so, those are the upsides. It's important in a way. It makes our lives better and easier financially, communication.
Yeah.
There are plenty of downsides. So it's, been shown that it does release dopamine and you are not as involved with personal living experiences. And you're living through others people's lives and falsely thinking that their lives are so amazing and perfect, and they're really not.
Yeah, completely. And even just when it even comes back to having like all this trust in the creators you follow and like what they're recommending and things like that, even when it comes to just what they are voicing that you should try in a supplements or medically, or like you should do this. So many people are then like, oh, like this is somebody that I trust. And they just told me that I should, do this. And you have these, creators who are taking on these like brand partnerships and things that, is a product or supplement or that they don't even use. And it's really just sending out sort of that false information to the people who watch them.
It's also very interesting coming from a medical perspective, reading about, talking about more holistic products. So in my neighborhood recently, there was a group chat going on about injecting peptides and copper. And I know as a physician, copper overdose is associated with, it's a genetic problem. And can actually cause seizures and anemia and really like horrible like side effects. And so when I heard people in the neighborhood were injecting themselves with that, my first reaction was to be a little bit fearful.
Totally.
And it was interesting because recently HHS made a statement that they were going to start doing investigations on peptide infusions. So I was actually reading about that. Peptides are like a huge range of products from like growth hormones to insulin to GLPs. So GLPs are amazing in terms of losing weight, but they can cause thyroid cancer and blindness. Insulin, I don't even know why you would want to inject yourself with insulin, but it could cause low sugar and, growth hormone. I mean, it can accelerate cancers and, so I don't really understand. What's scary is the allure of beauty and youth and feeling great, really can be replaced by more insidious diseases, frightening illnesses.
I mean, it's crazy because all that I'm seeing on like TikTok is all these people talking about peptides and they're injecting this peptide and now they're tan and they're glowing and they're tan. And I'm like, what? I'm so confused. I don't know how any of this works. And then you have people in the comments like, I need this immediately. Where did you get it? And then they send like, they're like, oh, like here's this link, but it's like, don't put like any information in. It's like might glitch, it might hack your phone. Like really, like it's just crazy because it's like none of this is approved, at least some of what I'm seeing on the internet. So I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, we really don't. But it's amazing because I'm also wondering if there's There's another disease called hemochromatosis where it's iron overload, and you can get like bronzing of the skin. So I'm wondering if people are like giving themselves a medical disease.
No.
So people are just injecting themselves with all these things, and the outcome might be really kind of like life-threatening.
I know. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me, because like any of what I've seen, at least, is like people who are in college recommending this. You know, you're not seeing any, you know, medical professional saying that you should take this to get tan.
No, but they are.
Oh,
I've read there are certain doctors that are out there that are charging thousands of dollars in these wellness centers to infuse peptides and all these things.
Yeah.
So there are people who have a medical degree who are actually prescribing these things. So I don't know what the long-term effects are.
I don't know either. I don't know.
Yeah, so it's so interesting. But what I found very interesting is another headline showing that Meta's Instagram and Google's YouTube were found to be liable for $3 million payout to a person who complained that they suffered debilitating social media addiction, resulting in depression, anxiety, and body dysmorphia.
Yeah.
So the problem is, you know, with freedom of speech, but on the other hand, you're now being found liable if you're giving wrong information or information that can result in medical disease.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. No, it just opens up a whole other, it doesn't even, I mean, so many people even like are outwardly like, yeah, I'm addicted to my phone. Like, I don't know how I'm going to go X amount of time without my phone. Or I know that, you know, the Masters had just passed the golf tournament, and they basically were like, no phones are allowed. And leading up to that, like, people were like, oh my God, like, what am I'm not going to have my phone? Like, how am I not going to be able to go on my phone for that long? Which is just crazy to think about.
Now, were you allowed to take pictures?
With a camera.
Really?
Yeah.
So they didn't allow the phone in?
Yeah, as far as that's what I've heard.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
I had a lot of friends who went to the Masters.
Yeah,
I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, you could not have your phone out. I don't know if they were like checking to see if you had it on you, but you could not have your phone out in any way.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't think for a short period of time, I think that's actually nice.
Yeah.
It's a vacation from your phone.
Totally. My coworker went, he came back and was like, I felt great. Like, I was completely like present and unplugged, and it was awesome.
Two of my kids, your cousins, when they were in high school, we sent them to Vietnam and Africa for service duties, and they had their phones removed for about 6 weeks, and they came home calmer, more intelligent, more interactive. Yeah. So it's definitely has benefits to removing your phone, but the problem is, you know, your work, your education, interactions are linked to the phone. Yeah. So that's a problem. Yeah. But I think a lot of these social media companies know that they're addicting you. Oh, so the problem is, are there liability lawsuits going to outweigh the profits? We'll see.
I don't know.
It's interesting.
It is.
So recently, I live in a neighborhood where a victim claimed to be attacked by an actor who lived in our neighborhood, and showed the video, which I noticed was in the middle of the interaction, and one person was punching another person. And most of the neighborhood weighed in and said, this is awful, you can't punch people, and this is vicious. And I said to myself, well, wait a minute, you know, that you know, we don't know the whole story. I wasn't there. Yeah. And anybody who wasn't there doesn't know what really happened. And the person who was being punched actually released the video and pictures to TMZ. So it was interesting. So the actor Alan Richson, a day or two later, released his video, and which we'll show. And it was from his perspective. And it turned out, so all these people had piled on to the original victim, saying that he, out of nowhere, was beating them up. And so what I found so disappointing and sad was that people were so quick to judge each other and they weren't there. So I think one of the things that really concerns me about social media is it allows cowards to be fairly vocal.
Completely. And I think that even that is just this whole trend that's been going on of cancel culture, where all of these people will just, hop on the bandwagon of attacking somebody because that's what everybody else is doing. And it's really just disturbing to think of, being on the receiving end of that.
Yeah.
And it does just give all of these people, access and the ability to just be so hateful, when realistically in real life, if this was their friend, if this was something that they'd witnessed or, knew any more about, would completely react and respond in a different way. I've seen comments on videos where people are like, oh, like I completely thought that the comment section was going to be a different way. And like, cause I viewed it this way and now everyone views it this way. So I must be the one who's wrong. So I must go over there. So it's just this weird, system where people can just jump on this hate train almost.
And I think it's just sad and unfortunate because I think it's okay for you to express your views.
Yeah.
And have an argument or a disagreement, but at least argue effectively and factually.
Yeah.
Some of the problem is people are attacking other individuals physically and, about their physical appearance and calling them names and whatever. And I think that can only be detrimental to your mental health.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'd seen someone make a video that they posted, some influencer with a big following, and I guess she had been getting a lot of hate comments when it came to her appearance or something, and she actually posted a funny video and was like, if you're gonna leave a hate comment about what I look like, at least put your profile picture there. Like, you are all hiding what you look like. And it is so cowardly. You're telling me how horrible I look and how I should look a different way. And you have your picture and name hidden. Like, it's ridiculous. It's like this whole anonymous, just meanness.
I love this statement. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it.
I know. Like, why?
And I think it's just terrible to be, derogatory and negative to somebody else.
Yeah.
I think it's okay to disagree.
Totally.
And to discuss it.
Yeah.
That's how we become more intelligent. But it's interesting. So speaking about the medical community, I recently met with two physicians who, one had their license removed and another one had his Board of Medicine certification removed over statements and studies that they had that they ended up being right. And so they were completely dishonored and removed, and their credentials were removed. But yet again, when they proved to be correct, they weren't monetarily.
The damage was done.
Yeah. And they actually had 12 physicians, called the Disinformation Dozen, who were actually awarded, I believe, money, as well as they had their status restored and were recognized as what you were advising was correct.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy.
So it's scary. I mean, there's this balance between freedom of speech, which I agree with, but it doesn't necessarily have to be, vindictive and remove somebody's ability to work and form social friends. And
totally. I think that disagreeing is so healthy, and discussing alternate perspectives, like, that is what should be happening. But people just, like you said, become very, attacking personal appearances. It just becomes hateful instead of a healthy discussion in any way.
And meaningless.
Yeah.
Really.
Meaningless,
It doesn't prove anything. It doesn't, there are no good outcomes of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if I told somebody you shouldn't have peptides and then they called me ugly, I would be upset. But I would also expect that to happen.
Maybe it's the peptides making them ugly.
I know.
Maybe it's an inner person.
I know.
I mean, isn't there some value of who you are as a human being anymore?
I know. That's the thing. So I'm like, if you say anything, like, you have to expect somebody to attack you.
But I think that's also like difficult. That the fact is that you have to have a harder shell, and that you know, have to endure this to get somewhere.
I know. I don't. It's I
just think it's despicable.
Yeah.
And especially when a lot of these people ended up being correct.
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah. No, it's so prominent in the medical field.
Mm-hmm.
But anywhere. I mean, you know, like there's such a fine line between a threat versus a negative statement.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think you can say your beliefs. First of all, you have to be careful because it's out there forever.
Oh, yeah.
Totally. And then, but there's, you know, and being correct, but also being respectful.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, I would never give medical advice. Like, I know my place. I know I'm not in any position to be offering any insider advice to people, but I'm hoping that people who are also are certified in that way to be doing that.
But it's interesting. So that's actually one of the goals of my podcast.
Yeah.
You represent science.
Yeah.
Is I do believe people inherently are scientific, and their experiences and their stories matter.
Yeah.
And so just because you didn't get a medical degree, your observations matter.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I'm so concerned about with the medical field now is the guidelines are so coerced, whether they're correct or not, and blindly accepted.
Yeah.
And these people's, you know, observations, it's interesting what they're choosing to publish and not publish or recognize or banish.
Yeah. And even, you know, when people are posting on social media what they do to stay in shape or how they like lead a healthy lifestyle, a lot of people also will kind of blindly follow exactly what this person is doing rather than taking into account their experience with their body when they feel good and stuff like that. So I think that definitely impacts, you know, teenagers or just, you know, girls in general when it comes to figuring out what like health means to them.
Right, exactly. It's very hard to talk about, especially as a physician or as a mother, to talk about nutrition.
Yeah.
Like I always use the word nutrition. I never use the word diet anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I've talked to some of my family members and they'll say, oh, I want to lose 5 pounds or, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
And I say, you know, you eat healthfully and you are where you are. Yeah. So I do believe that some people are on the lower end of weight naturally. Some people are on the upper weight. And I think just if you're exercising and eating as well as you can. Yeah. But I did have some patients in the past say they were fat. I was fat shaming them. Oh my whereas gosh. I was giving them like nutritional and exercise guidance. Yeah. And especially if somebody has repercussions of diabetes or cholesterol or blood pressure, it's crucial to advise these things. But on the other hand, people, you don't want to be viewed as fat shaming or judgmental or negative.
I completely can see how that comes into play when, you know, you're a physician. Yeah. Yeah. I'd never even thought of that aspect before.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, that was the one of the other things that I struggled with is I really am very invested in nutrition and lifestyle changes because you can go on and a lot of the regulations want you to spend very little time with patients and just go on the GLPs. And the GLPs do have side effects. Yeah. So, and the problem is, even if you're taking the GLPs, but you're not eating correctly, your weight will be healthy, but you will not be a healthy person. It doesn't replace good lifestyle changes.
Wow. I think a lot of people my age would be surprised to hear and know that.
Yeah. No, it's so interesting. I mean, I always recommend nutrition, exercise to, you could be 20, you could be 90. My 92-year-old father actually recently adopted a better lifestyle change.
Yeah.
And he does feel better than ever.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
great.
awesome.
Yeah. It's also rewarding that he's finally listening. Only took 61 years. So any other thoughts?
So when it comes to posting on social media to spread awareness about your mental health, or just people who might relate to you when it comes to different mental health struggles and disorders, I think it really is there's a great end to it, and then there is also the downside. The great part is to spread awareness of mental health. This was something that, years ago was not even addressed at all or viewed as truly a health problem. So I think that spreading awareness about that is great. However, when it comes to, people then are diagnosing themselves, if somebody is vocalizing something that maybe they relate to on one point, and then are like, oh my God, do I have this? I've seen a few videos of somebody would say, these are all of everything that I went through when I realized that I believe, I don't know if it was ADHD or something. And the comments were like, oh my God, this is me. When do I get medicated? Who should I talk to? So I think that there's two sides of it. On one end, it's great. To spread more mental health awareness and so to bring that realism into social media. But on the other side, there are people who are critical and who are like, this isn't something that needs to be put out to the world. There's people who are then diagnosing themselves based on what they've heard. So I'm curious also what you think on that.
I think everything in life is a balance.
Yeah.
And so up until recently, your three cousins, I was a very active mother, but then they're slowly moving out of the house. So they require less time, and I worked, a large amount of hours. So I think everything in life is a balance. I think it's good to share your personal experiences with mental health and what made you better. And same with the whole point of this podcast of sharing your experiences with medical diseases and medical care. But I think there's another balance that I think focusing too much on yourself is unhealthy.
Yeah.
So every little bad day or bad thing is unhealthy. I went through a period of time where it was not about me at all. And it was all about my work and my children or my friends. Yeah. But that's not so healthy either, because it has to be a little bit about me. I have to eat right. I have to exercise.
Yeah.
But I think I didn't have the opportunity to waste time on thinking about, oh, do I have ADD? Do I have this? And there's a certain degree of time that I think a lot of people should be working so hard that they don't have time to sit around and think about every little thing about themselves and worry about it.
Yeah. And
so,
I mean, I'd seen people say that too, doing so much self-work and self-evaluation, but then, you kind of do have to step back and be like, I'm completely centered myself in the whole world. Myself is my main focal point, so much so that I need to step back and realize that I'm not shift focuses elsewhere. It's great to, reflect and do all of the self-work that you can. But if that is, your primary state, it's damaging.
Right.
So.
And I don't like, one of the things I don't like is these buzzwords. So everybody uses them so frequently that it like no longer has meaning. So you say like self-worth and self-evaluation and cancel culture. Like you don't even know what half these things mean. Start using your own words. Like I have a better state of mind, a better spirituality or balance. Don't everybody use these same trigger words, and it drives me nuts because half of them don't even know what like it means.
I know.
But yeah. Okay. Lexi, thank you so much for coming. You shed so much light on these problems and benefits of social media. I would like to open up to the public any future thoughts, questions, insights. How can I help you? At werepresentscience@gmail.com.